Welcome back, guys. 435 DGS. We're doing these Ask an Expert segments. So we have Dustin Leefers, who's the Cybersecurity Manager at my client ThrottleNet, the IT guys, on if you'd like to ask a question about security or ethical hacking. You can call 314-436-7900. Hello, Dustin.
Hello, how are you, Dave?
Good, man. So I know both the words, ethical and hacking. I think I know what it means, but I'm sure I don't know the tip of the iceberg. So someone walks in the door at ThrottleNet and says, I'm here because I need ethical hacking. What's probably going on in their world?
So they're probably looking to improve the defenses of their own network. Typically, it will be a business that has maybe had cybersecurity incidents in the past, or they're looking to avoid having those incidents. So they hire an ethical hacking team to come in and try to penetrate their network and help improve their defenses.
And now I've hit my complete and total some knowledge on this topic. It makes no sense to me whatsoever, the digital, the ones and the zeros. If you can try to bring it down to a level that even I could understand, how is this happening, whether it's black hat or white hat? How do they get into your stuff?
Yeah, so I can walk you through a quick overview of kind of what the hacking process looks like. So there's 5 main steps. The first one's called reconnaissance. So once you've identified a target, say, there's a business you want to try to hack into, during the reconnaissance phase, you will do as much research as you can without actually touching anything to do with that client. You may go out to their LinkedIn pages, their social sites, their own website, and gather as much information, and you'd be surprised with how much information you can find. What kind of software they use, what kind of employees they have, email addresses, phone numbers for any and everyone. So in phase 2, you begin a scanning process where you go out and you may physically virtually touch some of the items on their network. You do IP address scanning, you look at their DNS records, you go out and see what may be vulnerable. You also launch vulnerability assessments and see if they have any zero-day exploits that may be able to be taken advantage of, or any other number of things. And then you move on to the gaining access phase, which is phase 3. And that's when you actually start trying to put some of that into work. You're trying to break into a system. Typically, if a network is fairly well defended, it won't be all that possible, just as long as they've updated and they're in good shape. So typically it comes down to social engineering or phishing, and that's where the quickest and the highest advantage attacks take place.
Gotcha.
So once you gain access, you go to maintain access, so you may deploy like back doors, and then you clear your tracks, so no one can easily discover that you were there.
So you go in, Dustin, and you do this white hat hacking and tell people how they can get in your system. It seems like things change so fast and people are constantly getting around any security you have put up. So how often would somebody check to see if somebody can get in? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems like you almost have to constantly be on top of it.
You do. So just to be clear, there's really 2 sides of the cybersecurity spectrum. There's what's called the blue team and the red team. I'm more on the blue team side, which is defense. So us at ThrottleNet, we work to defend your network from these cyber attacks. We don't really do much of the hacking. We use third parties for that because it's a conflict of interest. So we don't try to hack into networks that we maintain ourselves. So we're on the blue team side, but
gotcha.
Yeah.
So trying to defend it, I mean, people are always finding new ways to get in, right? I mean, you got to be almost vigilant every day, every minute, every month.
You do. So yeah, it's about a layered defense strategy. So there's any number of products and processes that you put in place to help with all that. Things like antivirus, firewalls, DNS filtering, dark web monitoring, email filtering. All of those things top to bottom. And the thing is a hacker only needs one vulnerability to get into your network. But once they're in your network, the defender only needs to detect one thing to snoop them out. So just as long as you're monitoring your network properly and you have defenses in place, that one telltale sign that someone did gain access, you can quickly get rid of them. So that's kind of the double-edged sword of that.
Dustin, I apologize if this is like way off track, but can you explain to me and our listeners what it means when something is encrypted?
So, yeah, so like ransomware. So whenever something gets encrypted, it's ran through like a mathematical cipher, if you will, and that data gets jarbled. And you have to have a password to unlock that data to be able to view it, put it back in its normal state. So if you encrypt something with a high encryption rate, you can no longer read it unless you have the password. So things like ransomware, once it happens, unless you have good backups and you can recover that data quickly, you're kind of at the whim of the attacker because there's not really much you can do.
So, Dustin, this is less of a question than a statement. I think you're all witches and should probably be put in prison, and I fear you. So, no, I don't know how the hell you guys do this. Like black hat, white hat, it just makes no sense to me at all. Are you guys still 100%? Everyone's protected? No one's had to pay anything?
Of course.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
So black hat, white hat, all that really means is black hat are typically the bad hackers, and white hat are the more ethical hackers that are trying to defend networks, people like ThrottleNet.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much, Justin. Appreciate it.